Doom and Doom 2 are some of my absolute favorite games because I'm a real man's man among gamer children, and as such I've wanted to feature a good old challenge run of them on my channel for a long time, but one thing has consistently held me back, and it's that someone has basically already done every single topic imaginable. Punching only, take no damage, deal no damage, nightmare, UV max, can you beat the game with the Donkey Kong bongos? That hasn't been done yet, you won't do it, little bitch, but the point is, despite loving these games and wanting to make a unique challenge video on them, there's a lot of competition for what already exists. But then I realized, quite to my surprise and enjoyment and mirth and excitement and arousal, that no one has ever recorded a run where they are barred from collecting health or armor in any fashion. And you might think this is just a fancy way of beating the game without taking damage, but don't forget the dinky ass 1 HP and 1 armor pickups are littered everywhere and you cannot avoid them. You run over them, you take. So the question really becomes, can you navigate around these landmines in their entirety while taking no damage to avoid healing and overhealing in general? Probably not, no. And as I said, it's inherently required you complete the entire thing with 100 HP, which is something most people can't do because most people are ass cheeks at this game, but I am not ass cheeks, I'm the whole. That's a whole lot of good. I feel confident enough to try this. I've been playing Doom in a variety of fashions for a lot of years now, on and off. I get really invested in proving my large balls by getting into Doom wads, even though some of those are wads of shit. I got through several with progressive difficulty increasing, and I enjoyed completing everything without saving in the middle of maps, because otherwise you could probably train a chimp to kill one thing, save, repeat, eat banana, repeat, throw their shit on the wall, save, kill one thing, repeat. Instead, I can eat a banana without saving. Hey, don't jump ahead. Buddy boy, take that hand off the mouse, put it back in the pants, and let's formally get into the challenge together and watch the whole thing and then get all the ad revenue, and then I'll leave. The rules are simple. We have to play on ultra violence, not a bitch. I can never save in the middle of levels, not a bitch. And we're going to have to do everything possible to avoid pickups everywhere. Ammo's allowed, of course, and power-ups like backpacks and invisibility is fine, and invulnerability, it's okay. Only the health and armor pickups across the game are banned. There's no rule about exclusively getting through the game without ever taking damage, but I usually will have to do so in order to ignore picking up medkits, since with 100 health you can't collect them. At the end, the goal and hope is that we never had to concede any map, but if we do, we'll just mark it and move on and see how many you can do flawlessly. By the way, this is going to be one single segment, not split up individual levels, so we're not going to be pistol starting. I guess I could have done that in retrospect, but I didn't, so. For every map, we'll have a preliminary discussion of the hotspots, and it should help illuminate the troubles ahead for all non-big Doom 2 people in the audience, which, yeah, we'll see. Hope you have fun. Let's do it. Goodbye. Entryway score is a 1 and 1, the one and done, the swift 1-2 punch. This is a level your little stupid ass brother could handle. If he can't handle it, well, no dinner for him. Easy, simple, not dead simple though. Oh, that'll be a better joke in like 15 minutes, you'll see why. Anyway, the first map is probably the easiest one, so it gives me a low intensity opportunity to illustrate what our biggest hurdle with taking no damage will be. Quite simply, maybe even dead simply, 14 minutes. The reason is hit scan enemies. Hit scan, as easily as I can explain it, being a vague ape, is a classification of instant attacks that checks if damage paths intersect the target, and if it does, it deals damage immediately. So the point is, you can't avoid damage if luck doesn't give a fuck. Early in the game, there's not a lot of non-hit scan enemies, as Zombieman and Shotgun Guy have the lowest health and are dispatched easily with this Glock, or this chainsaw, or this fist up their ass. Essentially, the game is designed to allow the player to feel like they can just blast through things early on, but hit scan enemies are ridiculously prevalent and accurate all the time, so you need to make short work of them or you'll get plinked to death fast. And of course, for me, I have 1 health realistically, so any hit warrants a reset. In addition, there's a few imps, and if you don't know what the imp does, he shoots a slowish projectile and he melee attacks if you get too close. By the way, good time to mention, I won't be tackling the entire game in one single segment, for both how long that would take, because fuck that, and also because it's wildly harder. It's actually, I think, physically impossible that any human could ever beat all 31 maps without getting hit one single time and without picking up anything erroneously. So this is going to be a single segment, but starting from each independent level. So basically I can never save in the middle of levels. I won't cheat you. This is a theoretical playthrough, and every time I restart a level, I'll update a handy graphic during our level transitions, which will keep track of how many attempts it took me to complete this challenge. For entryway, we don't suffer many losses at all, so that's nice. Once I can get outside and grab the secret shotgun, I do better. Additionally, there's a handy rocket launcher in this level that would be cool and all, but it's barricaded by disgusting, non-manly healing jars, so we can't grab the additional firepower. After this is only disgusting and bad, so happy day, here we go. This is, without a doubt, one of the biggest wake-up calls I've ever had doing any challenge run. Because if entryway was easy in both criteria of not taking damage and avoiding health pickups, then underhauls is far more not simple. It's far more brain requiring. It's essentially a pain in my asshole. Basically, every single encounter is a hit scanner, and most times in multiple amounts. You have to first start every attempt with kind of an RNG check of shooting these deaf fucks and hoping to pop them all with a single shot, and then you're off to the races. Honestly, here, guys are hiding like Michael Myers in the corners. Multiple Myers, many multiple Myers, I cannot lie. Around this corner, I get shot. Then I have an amazing run of peeking corners, being careful, and nearly escape the level with my sanity very well intact, and then I eat some inconceivable imp fireball that hit an explosive barrel behind me. Great! Then at the beginning of the level, I'm mad and want to make a statement. I get a statement in the mail saying I suck ass and fuck you, start again. Guy in a cage, you know, come on. You get so far, and you try so hard, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. Carefully popping people around walls, and you get into the key room and accidentally grab a power up, and that's that. The first of incredibly too many times where I am completely safe and intelligently walking, and then I grab a power up and we're out. And so often you're doing great, and then the spirit of fucking John Romero infects one of the zombie men. They just shoot you preemptively the instant they round a corner. Which, by the way, is why we can't actually even try this challenge on Nightmare. It's what they do 100% of the time there. Still though, the RNG nature of getting slapped with a shot all the time is crazy. Around the corner where we started the level is the final gauntlet, and it's chock full of cock. There's a pit with tons of enemies. There's barrels in there that are hard to avoid taking minor explosion damage from, and just one little mistake and you're back to the guys at the start again. This is also a prime time to illustrate that avoiding the pickups in levels often involves being completely full on health. This strip of medkits is so much more avoidable if we can just walk through them instead of having to go around them. I start acclimating, getting used to the level, and only some of my life is gone, and I can now establish a foothold and move on to level 3, still with my item pickup virginity intact. The Gauntlet is definitely easier than map 2 as it's less dense and stupid as fuck. That being said, this is yet another step forward towards a future where I'm pissed off because we are now face to face with perhaps the worst enemy in the entire game for our purposes, the heavy weapons dude. He's got the chain gun and that's frightful, none too delightful, makes me spiteful, let it blow, let it blow, let it blow my balls. Yeah, this is an iconic enemy for being awful and bad. They have tight aim across the literal map with their chain gun, and while you can definitely retaliate and fire back, you suffer an assload of pings if you're out in the open, a position I try to avoid. Sadly, this whole map is a football field. Long sight lines, weird height differentials, lots and lots of hit scanners. See, beyond doing little maneuvers to avoid picking up power-ups, which are also just troubled immensely by your own sense of dread, the inherent, oh no, I'm gonna pee-pee and get my pants, when you're deep into a level that you've been stuck on is challenging. That'll get worse, we'll talk about it. I gotta change my underwear. So, this level is structured in a long fashion, and there's copious times I'm shotgunned across a chasm. While here we get our first chain gun, something that's much appreciated as it's pretty much the best weapon to quickly snipe hit scanners across the map, but even the fight to grab it sucks. You go up the elevator with your good old neck brace on tight, and you better hope that you can get the chain gun or the infight with the imps immediately because it's annoying to run up, kill him, retreat, and fall down the elevator shaft and wait. As you can see, this guy can clip you in an obnoxious fashion if you get unlucky, so a few restarts later and then we catch our stride. I get shot in the pits because I'm a moron. Try again, we'll catch our stride next time. A little more complex overall, but the level is short, and once you arrive at the final room, which is just a big square, yeah, a total nerd room, it's easy to avoid damage and get out, is what I should have been able to say. Next time, we'll get it next time, no problem. Easy, 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 it's fucking dead simple. I promise I can beat Hag's finger. That'll mean something to big Doom players. I can beat Hag's asshole. Next map. Map 4 starts off innocently enough. You're in a closet, and yeah, great, no problem. But as is typical, the instant you leave the closet, you're getting reamed by a bunch of dudes. What is evident, though, from the moment you come outside, though, I wrote again, you are presented with insane amount of hit scanners, though you carefully pick and prod until this concludes when you round the corner and are faced with a stunning, horrifying realization. You've got to pick up a fucking armor pack. As the first time we have to make a concession, I feel truly bad about this. This square of pickups barricades a keycard without which you cannot complete the level, so this marks the end of the challenge. I'm just kidding, we need to see how low we can go. It was unlikely that nothing would ever be blocked off by a pickup, and unless there's some super secret tech I am not familiar with, you cannot grab the keycard without intersecting the item. So yeah, that sucks. As for the rest of the map, it keeps giving me the finger, the Hag's finger. Yeah, this room right here is another one with mandatory pickups. No joke, this level might be the worst one in the entire run. For picking up items at least, not for taking damage. You have to scale on top of these boxes, and there's tons of hell vials all over, to hit the switch to get them to drop health vials, to get on this crate and move on. Fucking 3 of them. Believe me, I spent a long time here trying to whittle that number down to 0, or at least 2, but you can't get by them at any angle. It means you have to leave here with 104 HP. Disgusting, fetid. Then the final room of the map sees you have to grab this yellow key card on a bridge, and a bunch of hit scanners spawn in as soon as you do so. So yes, look upon my massive movement skill in despair. I get shot almost immediately. Then we're face to face with something I may have gotten wrong. You have to strafe run over this gap to progress, but I mean, you don't actually have to, but I have to. There's a bunch of stuff in the intended direction I don't want to get, so yeah. Problem truly is there's armor bonuses over there, and they are presumably skippable, but I tried via a save to test if it was possible to skip probably hundreds of times, and I just couldn't get it right. Again, I'm not the greatest Doom player in the world, but I am the greatest Doom player in this room, so I feel like I should be able to do this. I've beaten Hag's finger after all. The thing is, you need a lot of speed to cross the gap, and if you're going that fast, the momentum can carry you into a single armor pickup, and yeah, I concede that. It's a fact of life. We're going to take one more armor pickup, meaning after we engage the last few enemies here, we have to leave the level with 104% health and 2% armor. Absolute dog, I'm sickened. Fun fact, fun spoiler, there's a silver lining about these pickups later though. Map 5 is a welcome change of pace from the last. Firstly, we aren't going to pick up any stupid-ass items this time, and secondly, it's got less stupid-ass hit scanners. There is something in this level I dislike about most Doom maps. It has a dark room, which just absolutely drains my ball brain to look at it. Try making a portmanteau of brain and balls. Try it. I'll try it right now. It's written in the script. I couldn't do it. It took it like 20 attempts. Ball rain. There are of course all sorts of pickups in your way, including a soul sphere, which grants you 100 health instantly, and I might be the only person to ever say fuck that, get it out of my face. In the aforementioned dark rooms, you have to navigate against a lot of corners with enemies, and I get clipped a few times trying that, which stinks because the starting 3 minutes of the map are tedious as you wait for hit scanners to round a corner so you can shoot them safely. I creep around like a madman, shooting enemies in cages in the sewers as we bump into some new ones, the Lost Soul and the Hell Knight. Both of these are varying degrees of scrotum strain. The Hell Knights are easy to avoid taking damage from, but are burly and large, getting in the way, and the Lost Soul is a weird little monster. It just does whatever the fuck. If you see it, if you shoot it, it just usually juts into a wall, or sometimes you're facing Dingo, Restarto the Levano. In general, it's a fine map. I don't lose more than 8 times. Wowza, and there's no new pickups, which means we get to move on happily. Map 6 features the Crusher. It'll be used to crush my balls, my brain, and the Spider Master Brain. That's cool. It's the main draw of this place. In addition, it's dark again and has a bunch of shit that hits me all the time. Starting off in this one is rough. I get hit numerous times just trying to not get hit numerous times. As the Revenant in this room, I don't know if I have mentioned the Revenant. I don't think I had a reason to mention them. They're a skeleton that shoots homing missiles. They take a little bit of damage and then they die, but these skeleton. After the first room, which is just full of hit scanners, you go down the lift and flip the switch to crush the Spider Master Cranium, who can get you with a random bullet if you're unlucky. One full cycle, the Crusher doesn't completely finish the job, so you have to kind of wait it out for a while, which compounds the pain of getting shot by one of the random imps across the gap as you wait, but you know, whatever, it's okay. After waiting all this time for the Crusher and doing all this, you can get a plasma rifle, which is great and can skim the edges to move on in the map. Then you can get melee slashed from an imp in the pit 4,000 feet below you and have to do it all again. Excellent. Also, you can get all the way back and then get hit by an imp across the pit like I previously bitched about. Finally, when you can get past the Crusher room, you head back up the lift and enter the previously locked door, and then it's a scary city, long hallways with hit scanners, and you just know you're going to be dicked on randomly in here. I grabbed the red key card, we're nearly there, just gotta go into the courtyard of Cock to succeed, and after a while it's easy, no problem, and shot when opening a door. Okay, back to the Spider Master head. Did the whole level again. That was fun, almost as fun as the Hag's finger, even the Hag's dick, but we hop to the yellow key card door, open her up, and don't get hit by the jump scare demon, and we leave the level. This map is dead simple. See, now the joke has come full circle, much like the ring around a Hag's finger. But anyway, besides that, this whole map is incredibly small and involves just a few narrow encounters, so it's nice. Overall, this is a classic Doom 2 level. There's so few item pickups here that it's a complete walk in that regard. We barely have to care, but on the other hand, mancubuses, or otherwise known as the plural of mancubusi, are all over and they cause a decent amount of strain. This enemy is durable, fires a lot of flame shots, and can be overwhelming in situations like this where there's a lot of them. them. Thing is, their pattern of shooting is always the same, so you learn how to just weave very easily by strafing left and right with their attacks. Not always, as evidence, but we saved, we can try again. On the outside of the map are the Arachnotrons, smaller spider demons that shoot plasma balls, and they are furious. They shoot many shots over the hills and into your backside, made worse by the idea if you pick up any of the partial invisibility items that are littered around. This isn't even banned to be picked up, but honestly, you wouldn't want to use it anyway. It doesn't make enemies not try to shoot you, it just makes them shoot completely randomly in your direction, meaning you can't now reliably dodge the Mancubuses or the Arachnotrons. They just shoot wherever they want. It's a nightmare. As I'm blasting ass here, I end up backpedaling into a shot from one of these guys, and it's making me mad that dead simple is not being as simple as one would expect. It's actually fairly dead complicated right now. I'm really pissed off, so I just power game back into the fray and eat another shot for being hasty. Okay, lesson learned. With careful planning and good strategy instead of the ape-like offense, believe me, that is something hard for me to concede. We move on to map 8. This one starts innocently enough. You're in a little room by yourself, much like me most Saturday nights, and then you think, fuck it, I'm going out, and then you get to the club and it's this shit. Yeah, this is a unique one. You choose a pathway. It's dangerous for various reasons. You clear it, and then you get to go to more of the rooms. We have to get past the big boy here, the Cyber Demon, who is the healthiest and heaviest hitting monster in the game. Thing is, they have a fairly simple attack pattern, and if you dodge their rockets, they can't deal damage in any other fashion, so it's not bad. Plus, there's an invulnerability to grab, so we don't have to worry about anything. To defeat the Cyber Demon, I just run in here, he goes, "What the fuck?" And he starts shooting randomly and hits the Barons of Hell, beefier versions of the Hell Knight. They all infight, a strategy which I haven't mentioned, have I? It's quite great. It's what makes Doom such a fun game to play, because enemies will kill each other if caught by friendly fire. So you can strategically use that idea to thin out crowds. So after pissing them all off, I duck back into the starting room, open up another door, and the literal only lone shotgunner gets me with a bullet immediately. Okay. Great game. Ooh. Next run, I start off here, and yeah, it's the jump room. The sacrificial sad shotgunner is there to bait someone inside, and then the 50 cacodemons come attack. Essentially, this is the level. All the rooms are full of a single type of enemy, and it's surprisingly not too hard to get out of all of them, especially because of the secret BFG you can grab. This gun, if you're not a Doom fan, is a big fucking good. It's a major weapon. I won't explain why. It's actually one of the strangest guns ever made for an FPS, I'd say, but basically, it levels a field if used correctly. And used correctly, I do, to run around more freely after dealing with a few more traps and tricks. Can't forget the cereal. Pop the Fruit Loops in my mouth. Yum, yum, yum. You grab an invulnerability in the Cyber Demon room, making him a little bitch. A Kryber Demon, you could say, and you escape. There's actually a hole after you grab that you can fall into that you can't get out of ever. There's no way to get out of it, and it's near the end of the level. Guess what happens to me? Next attempt, we get it, no problem. No clouds on the horizon. We're making great time. And now the great time has stopped. It's over. Welcome to the worst map of the game by far so far, and as far as I can see, there's no way to get through this one without an item pickup. And also without wishing someone would just punt your balls as hard as they can instead of playing this level in this fashion. To begin, you are almost completely expected to take damage from a damaging floor tile. This shit, literally, it's just a river of diarrhea. What other things are brown that also hurt you? Maybe it's oil. Could be oil. It's shit. Get over it. Anyway, the game has a unique means to calculate how you take damage from floor in this fashion. Believe me, there's a lot of discussion over various inane aspects of Doom, and to summarize the damaging floor, it's technically possible to get over this without taking damage. It's just that up above, once you take the elevator, you have like a 40% chance to just take random hit scanner damage and have to start again. The way we could attempt to dodge the damage of the damaging floor is with a concept of nukage rhythm. That is, these types of floors only hurt you at specific intervals. There is a way to actually visually see when the floor will tick you with damage if you look at your gun's bobbing animation. While moving, the gun will bounce from side to side, and when it reaches the very apex of its arc, i.e. the topmost position it ever goes to, that's when you'd take damage. So if you're moving around and then you go into the nukage at the very bottom of the gun's bobbing animation, that will give you the most time before you get hit. Sadly, you can't do it on this platform as it's incredibly small to begin with, but there's also a huge armor pickup right on my butt cheek, so I can't back up at all. There is a silver lining being on an island with the thing you hate more than anything else in the entire world, surrounded by an ocean of shit, and it's that there's actually no reason we have to avoid taking a bit of damage at the start. start. Also, for the record, I do have footage demonstrating it's possible to get over this area without being hit, but it's hard, maybe a 10% chance because we can't accurately judge when we'll be struck. But regardless, whenever I got over there with my 104% health at the top, I got hit several times, and I started thinking how tedious this was going to be if I went for this. But by a fortunate coincidence, it turns out you are forced, sickeningly forced, to pick up 4 health vials to complete this level. And since 1 tick of damage from the nukage puts us at 96% health and 0% armor, it means quite funnily the amount we were forced to pick up earlier in the game and the amount we're forced to pick up now gets us back to our starting value. That coincidence gives me great satisfaction. Then after all that's said and done, I accidentally grab an extra vial and the level is over again. Ooh. The map is long, that's all you gotta know. It's long, it has pitfalls where if you walk wrong you mess up, like the aforementioned extra vial I took. The locations where you have to take the extra health vials to begin with are just a straight line of them in front of a door. Stinking John Romero, why'd you put those there? This is why they killed you and stuck your head out of spike. Real lore. Then in rooms like this one with anal pain elementals who spawn lost souls, I get smacked and we're back to the nukage pit again. Over and over, these little errors just racked up the restarts. Without a doubt, one of the most brutal maps for one reason or another. And when it was finally over, it dawned on me, it occurred to me, it struck me, it bucked me. We're not even on the 10th map yet. Everything is only gonna get harder from now on, isn't it? Map 10 is far easier than the last. That's good. Oh, only in item collection terms. The difficulty of not getting shot here is one of the worst things I've ever seen in my entire life. This level is 2 things, massive and completely full of hit scanners. Later on, the developers figured that big beefy enemies with heavy hitting projectiles were the bee's knees. They were like, you know, how you made something more challenging. But little did they know, all the tiny grunts littered everywhere cause all the problems. And yeah, that's all this is in this map. Little tiny grunts everywhere. Honestly, yeah, this room, that room, full of things that end attempts. And you don't have to pick up any items, so that's great. You know, we can stay pure and clean as we have, but you don't know the stress of just hoping after 9 minutes of perfect play you're not hit from somewhere inconceivable. Honestly, I restarted the beginning of this map so many times because it's just annoying. There's a random bastard around every rock. They just seem to stride in endlessly, and it'd be fine if it were an imp or a fucking mancubus or something, but it's just the zombie man with his little plink in my dink. The run where I actually succeed is next level. I mean, look at the range I'm engaging at. Perfect gameplay, on par with my Hag's Finger run. That was a beauty, but I don't like to mention it very much. So after the great, I don't know, 40 losses or something, I don't remember. I showed some of them. We get to move on to map 11. Map 11 is fortuitously much more easy than 10, but it's frustrating in other ways. To begin, it's probably safest to hide like a little child on the staircase for the first fight and wait 4 minutes for the cacodemon to fly into you and die. So that's fun. Besides him, there's a smattering of various enemies all around the starting platform, up in the balconies, and you need to ensure you don't accidentally skip that sly shotgunner up there. It happened several times, let's not dwell. You could easily make those mistakes at will. In fact, I'd wager most people on Earth would make those mistakes, so stop mentioning it, don't look at it again, especially don't mention this one where I shoot myself with a rocket. Completely normal. Everyone does that. It's no problem. Uniquely, this map does not have to be completed in the correct fashion, as you can hit a switch from an unintended lower spot. This is a fairly common bug, I suppose you could call it, that we make use of whenever it presents itself. Just a byproduct of how Doom handles height, and it's fortunate because the intended direction is not only a lot more annoying with enemies, but there's almost a guarantee I'd have to collect things on that path. This level is interesting though, in that you don't have to collect much to actually complete the level, so I skim the edges, take care of the immediate dangers, and then grab myself a rad suit, an item that protects against the damage of nukage and also looks really sick. And after that, there's an awkward encounter where you have to kill a bunch of stuff in a pit, and since you're locked forward at all times, trying to shoot things down there and dodge their oftentimes out of view projectiles is challenging. Still, I do it in one shot, no joke, that's wild. Holy shit, insane gamer, and then yeah, you can go like this, like that, whoop, whim, and leave. Good game. The Factory is a strange map because some of it seems like it should be really annoying and hard, and believe me, there's some merit to the challenges here, but for the most part, you're dealing with a lot of projectile monsters. In fact, the worst part is probably this bizarre Doom 2-ass staircase, if you can call it that, where you have to scale diagonally upwards towards some shotgunners, and it's clumsy as all clum, it's dumsy as all dumb, it's stinky, it's shit, it's not fun one bit, it's all kinds of trial, but I completed in style. Died 4 or 5 times, I don't remember. Otherwise, there's a lot of small buildings to clear out. The external area has some arachnotrons who have enormously long sightlines to enjoy, and yeah, it gets me a few times. Once you start getting into more tight spots, there's some errant item pickups that make navigation a tad worse, but still, we haven't had to grab anything for quite some time. I haven't mentioned this though, but a side effect of skipping over these pickups is the fact that I have had some various ammo concerns through these levels. I'm constantly low on something because the game developers figured you'd like full-on resupplies, you know, with health, armor, and ammo all at once. Therefore, you have to be creative with the weapon usage distribution, and several times here I'm low on shotgun shells, rockets, or bullets, so I have to do a bit of a juggling act. Overall, satisfying level, don't have to try incredibly hard, and we move on once again. Map 13, Downtown, is one of the more iconic levels in Doom 2, and for good reason. It's got a really cool aesthetic. You know, you're going around numerous tall buildings, grabbing invulnerabilities, which is very helpful considering the restriction of never allowing myself to take damage is hard. Sadly, like a real city, there's a bunch of shitheads in it, and tons of items, like in the roads, okay? You can quite easily accidentally pick something up this time around, and it restricts your abilities to dodge the copious projectiles constantly flying your way. Plus, your stiff neck really starts to make life harder here. Take, for example, when I'm doing well moderately through the level, I go up this lift to the roof with some imps, and yeah, boop, just like that, back to the fucking road. Literally, guy who hits me is off screen right now. Are we being real? It's actually kind of the imp shitting upon me renaissance. Check out where I take this teleporter and get hit instantly, like some human player was camping the spot and predicted it. I have no idea why he was even shooting there. It's actually unavoidable in this instance. Honestly, this lift is just the chief pain. Otherwise, you can creatively use invulnerability to clear sections that are dicey, but again, going upwards and I'm just rattled with shots. After enough running around, I find the level exit, a literal pool of lava. That seems good. That's safe. Better than the dump I've been running through, I guess. Map 14 starts off in a narrow encounter building, and what makes it just dickhole is that there's a drove of hit scanners all around on differing levels, and I just suffer restart after restart. The nice thing is, of course, as evidenced by that 1-star rating for not picking up items, is that there isn't many landmines to get in the way of your movement. But considering how everything is just a hit scanner for the most part, movement isn't really a concept. It's more about luck and hiding around every rock. You gotta get lucky as you cross sight lines and run over fake bridges, and beyond the hit scanners, there's a bunch of things like lost souls roaming over the water, and they'll get you. You need to shoot them on sight. This map really boils down to a bunch of squares, with each one of them having the potential to end the game, and it sucks. I hate it. You think it'd be okay as soon as you get to the inside portions, but there's just hit scanners on pillars, outside, everywhere, constantly, omnipresent, and yeah, just rapidly count those resets up. The day is going away. We're wasting more life here. Then the red key door is here, and look at it. It's your neighbor. It's the Archvile. This fucking bastard Stinky. You know what I'm saying? This guy really breaks my balls because the moment you enter this room, he has total visibility, so hope you like tediously shooting at him behind fences and through gates.
I don't.
Anyway, it's not even him alone that's the annoyance. He's resurrecting zombie men by thrusting at them, just showing the AR who's boss. And obviously those respawned hit scanners present a far larger challenge. Although anyway, a bit more wandering about it, a little more hating all things, a bit more pondering aloud, and we make it to the end of map 14. Welcome to the land of the zombie man, who have equipped their guns with scopes and will shoot you arbitrarily from the highest rafters ever conceived by man. Again, this is supposed to be Earth. Where the fuck is this? I haven't seen a location with a big ass moat in the middle and a gigantic lava fountain. It's like Minecraft Town. But yeah, regardless, one of the hardest maps to completely clear. There's just so many things you can't see all the time. It's just a field with random turns, and when you've been playing for 9 minutes and get hit for 3, it really sucks. So what is 9 minutes times like 80? I'm slightly exaggerating the number, of course, but reviewing the footage pains me. There's just a random event constantly getting me. There's, again, little threat of picking up items, which is good. The sanctity of the challenge is surviving longer and longer, but doing this has been frustrating. It's making me mad. It's making me glad. We're not even halfway done yet, my god. Hopefully, you're still invested. We got some more time together today. Maybe you'd be amazed to hear that I've completed Doom 2 maps like the Hag's Finger and go fuck yourself. I'm not insulting you. That's the level name, but I actually didn't beat that one, if I'll be honest. It's very hard. It's just made for a good joke. So if you're actually unimpressed at my Doom 2 ability, you can go fuck yourself. Yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the background compilation of me getting reamed, but there's something interesting about map 15. It's the fact that it's far, far easier to complete by taking advantage of the secret exit. In Doom 2, there's a secret exit from both map 15 and 31. 31 being the first secret exit if you leave from the, oh my fucking god, I say it like 10 times. Point is, you get to 31 if you use the secret exit from 15, and then if you use the secret exit in 31, and that will lead to 32. And while you're not expected to complete either map 31 or 32 to complete the game, they're fair game to engage with. Why not? Worst paragraph ever wrote. To get there, we need to use this rad suit in the corner of the map. Unfortunately, to grab it, we have to engage with the nukage rhythm. I do engage with it. Then you have to take a mega gamble, and that's always good when you're doing a hard challenge run of a level that's taken several hours. Once you grab the rad suit, you gotta run and fall into the chasm, and up top are a bunch of enemies you can't fucking see, but they still can hit you if you're unlucky, and besides, even if you could see them, you couldn't be more exposed, and therefore you wouldn't want to hang around here very long. And then you kind of have to expertly use that trick from map 11 where you hit a switch from below, and yeah, I do it, no big deal. I'm quite the Doom guy, and this shotgunner doesn't shoot me for some reason, massive aura. And then we skedat onwards towards an invulnerability. Oh, and this hole is some cack, and you gotta get past those, grab the invincibility, and then jog over to this room with the BFG in tow, blast, blow, and boom some things, and you grab the yellow key, hit a switch, get stuck on some more cock demons, and then just run to the secret exit, easy, no problem. Essentially, going to map 31 saves me a headache, and then I'll leave map 31 via the regular exit to go to map 16 after that, so it's kind of a detour around some annoyances. And that's what we're doing. It's pretty simple. We got the invulnerability, run around like mad, and that's it. We're out. It's time for the Nazis. This is the first of 2 Wolfenstein levels, meaning there's basically nothing here except hit scan enemies, so yeah, fun again. Shot in the face 2 seconds in. This level is fortunately pretty simple and it won't take much to get through it. Doesn't stop me from restarting several times or being bad though. There's a lot of hit scanners leading up to a lot of demons, leading up to some more from column A and then some more from column B. It's basically just a buttload of bullfuck. The dialogue is strained, we have half the game left to roll with it. Deal with what I say? Fact is, there's a lot of long corridors and sight lines, so it's imperative to take this slowly. Surprisingly, I don't suffer from any failures at all here and navigate through to the end in a cleanish, somewhat fashion. There's a secret exit to go to map 32, but I won't be doing that. It's unnecessary. Instead, the regular pathway puts us back to map 16. This is a projectile map, so it's far easier than the usual fare. Spoiler, the next map is one of the worst things I've ever had to do in any game, so enjoy this while it lasts. What you have to do is essentially take on 10 separate small skirmishes with an assortment of demons. Got some imps on a ledge to start, and then an archvile in the open, some cacodemons. This batch of Revenant 2 hit me in a really surprising and shit fashion for 70 damage. That was nice. Good hit, friend. Nice one. Well done. Got some Mancunians in there, just a whole lot of vile fictional beasts. Basically, this map is just a coordinated jaunt to this actual hard point where you need to grab an invulnerability to succeed, as this key is in the middle of a damaging pond. To get the invuln, you have to use a BFG to kill a nearby guarding archvile, the archvillain, the fuckface himself, standing where we want to go. But once you grab this, you can head back and grab the key, and then a bunch of monsters spawn in. Unfortunately for us, our body is still very much dense and invincible, so we're not too pressured. What can I say? Run over, grab some stuff, be smart, restart the level because I didn't know where to go at first and ran out of invincibility and took damage. Good, good, good. After that, we are at map 17. Oh boy, yeah, okay. Let's get some expectations for your satisfaction out of the way to begin. That's what I say to every woman I've ever been with. We're picking up some items here. I don't usually say that part. It's usually just about my dick being small. First, it's not going very well. Secondly, fuck, we're going to ramp up the resets. Completing this level with simultaneously no damage and minimizing pickups is disgust to fuck. It's so bad you have no idea. I suppose let me show you why and whine a bit, and then you'll have a good idea. The level starts innocuously enough with people in the windows you must shoot. I have no neck, and I must look up. The first few rooms aren't anything special, but there's certainly a lot of ground damage and narrow hallways with pain elementals and cacodemons, kit scanners too, of course, but these things are preludes to the real challenge coming up. Also, there's a hallway with absolutely no way to navigate around them that has 3 medkits sitting in it, so yes, you would need to have at least 100% health at this point or these would be additionally taken. Which makes it all the more convenient we have taken this specific amount of damage we have taken to this point, but I digress. The center of the map, if you can think of it that way, is this nukage pit with an island in the middle and 3 paths on the outside. So yeah, get get your gun bouncing, we need to cross this. And it stinks more because I have to go back and forth numerous times. All of this, despite being annoying, is paltry to the 2 upcoming rooms. Here's another fun point. As you bumble around, you're going to have to enter this window ledge room where you have to pick up 4 armor pieces, and that's really great. I love doing that. It's due to the upcoming portions of the map that you'll constantly relive this horrible sensation of ruining your item collection purity here, probably like, hundreds of times. Then you are face to face with the fucker or trademark, this bridge. Ramp concept, as you can see health files all over it, but surprisingly, you don't have to take them. It's just insufferably difficult to avoid doing so while not falling into the damage pit below. There is another method to clearing this room without grabbing anything, and it's by falling off to the side here and hitting the brown brick wall to lower the platform, thereby skipping the walk. Yeah, this is just butthole. Then after like 5 hours of trying, I get up on the platform, my heart beats in my ears, I just flub and run into the pit. No! Once we get back up there, I make it, and I want to make a point about this, but this is just step 1. Step 2 involves going forward a little more and being confronted with the harder of the 2 staircases. 6 more hours. There's armor shards all the way up, with chain gunners lording over the arena. At the top is a classic arch vial, so yeah, point is you're gonna fail this one too. Look at this tightrope walking. It's incredibly trash. And of course, the pit is another damaging one, and if you fall in there and reach the teleporter without taking damage, you instantly get warped into a soul sphere, 100% health immediately. That's like 20 levels of failure rolled into one. The top actually is more of the issue if we're being honest, because eventually it narrows to the point where you have to take 4 bonuses or you'll fall into the pit. And then a room opens across the way and you get 3 choices. Option A, head straight into the fire and hope you don't get shot. Option B, go backwards into the arch vial room and fall into the pit immediately. Option C, go backwards into the arch vial room and have to grab another bonus. So considering how 2 of the 3 choices instigate a reset, we're basically gonna have to gamble everything right now. And yep, I get the luck I wanted. That's actually truly not deserved, but fine, good. Level is still not over. After a few more fights where I have balls in my throat, we are face to face with 4 more health pickups we can't avoid. Fucking John. What are you doing to me, John? Either one, I don't care which one we're mad at. Then to leave, enjoy your 3 chain gunners that might just kill you and make you go back and redo this god run of everything again, but for me, in my case, days of attempts later, we can move on. Yeah, fuck that map. So now it's maybe the easiest run in the challenge, except for the fact that we have to take more items, leave me be. The reason this one is so simple, honestly, dead simple, is that there's simply, dead simply, only 1 hit scan enemy. Other than that, it's just those old projectilers, and that means we can exude our great gameplay and dodge without much problem. The health pickups come from this room with an invulnerability, which is great, but next to it is 50 health vials, which is vile. To get through this, you have to grab some, not many, mind you, but more than 0 is a failure and adds another level to our total of shame. May look like these are skippable, honestly, but I tried numerous times via a save, and they are too close together. You end up picking up more if you try to skip. After all this shame and pain, we can run around and leave, and I will, thank you. This level is dead to me. Here we have another blessedly simple map. That's right, nothing like Hag's Finger. It's easy to avoid damage, kind of. There's this hallway chock full of stuff, gee whiz. But few enemies that are unfairly placed, no copious damage floor everywhere, and the room with item pickups you can kind of just skirt on by. Look at that angle, wow. This one is more of a wiki level, looking up where to go because it's just a pain in my ass. But when you know where to go, it's a new low of difficulty, that is. Oh, God. Clever writing, good writing, strong, nothing to say. There is nothing to say about the map. Pad the runtime, next. Alright, iconic map, and it's back to being annoying and requiring description. This is a famous level where you get a spider master cranium to infight with a cyber demon, and usually the big Chad, big cock cyber demon wins, but it doesn't matter who does actually. Point is, getting them to hit each other without hitting you is hard, and is how we start off. After that, there's just little landmines of pickups all over. I stumble foolishly into them, grab them without expectation, and in general, it's a dumb reason to have to restart. And then there's the discussion of how you want to actually leave this level, because the standard way involves getting shot, so we have to do some smart finagling instead. See, at this point, I just tried to descend into this room with 4 shotgunners down there, and I'm having a wicked case of meningitis today, so I can't take a downwards look at them as they fill my scrotum with shotgun. That means I want to take care of that group of 4 a different way. Unfortunately, you can pick them off from a damaging lava world that surrounds the map. So you can get down there and run around with a secret rad suit, and that's good. First attempt to do this properly, and a shotgunner comes out like a drunken neighbor and shoots me instantly. Try again. After succeeding at this tedious endeavor, you have to leave the lava pit, and there's 3 ways to do that. The first way, which would be the nicest, ends with making you take 2 health bonuses. Thanks again, John. The second one also ends by making you take more bonuses. John Carsack, everybody. For the record, the guys who made this game are high on my favorite developers list. Still, fuck them! Finally, the third path does allow you to get out for free, but it's an asshole room. There's just a smatter of enemies, including 2 shotgunners, and yeah, it's hard to avoid taking hits. Then the level just proceeds into a long stretch of getting stretched thin, and I hate it. Sniping from afar, running around as fast as you can to avoid stupid things that are out of your control, and the final room is a doozy. It's this dark pit of shit, and there's about a million things that can grab you in here. To make this tolerable, you need to use the BFG a little, chain gunning the asshole chain gunner from afar, do all sorts of smart things because I get hit in the dumbest fashions imaginable, and redoing all this wasn't fun. It was boring, if I must be honest. Still, clean level with no pickups, and we're going onwards. Map 21 starts you off with 2 vials in between your butt cheeks. Sadly, your ass is so strong it shatters them the instant you move. That's incredible. They aren't even fucking around anymore. You are taking health, all 2%, but still sucks, and then it's time for a sucky level as well. The fights of interest are the battalion of shotgunners to start off, into the random 1 or 2 that snuck into a teleporter, into the mancubus who gets me because I am what one could possibly refer to as dog shit, and some pain elementals who should be dealt with completely, as every enemy can follow you into teleporters, of which is this level's gimmick. And yes, you can imagine what happens when I try to get clever and go faster than the game wants me to. After you wind around and grab a yellow key card, it's time for the room. Every map has one, and 21's is called "There's 50 fucking things shooting at me shit." It's easier than it looks because there's an invulnerability, but it's harder than it looks because you have to go grab a rad suit kind of fortuitously. If you somehow avoid the 1,000 projectiles and don't take a damage floor damage tick, then you can get to the invuln and run around correctly, grab the keys needed, and leave. Funnily enough, less than stellar QA didn't reveal to the programmers that you didn't need to collect all 3 keys to get through their cage trap idea, as the bars are too wide to block you on the outer one. And I'm not going to go confirm this because it would take me 3 whole minutes to confirm it, but I think you can even skip the next bars if you are good at something called gliding, but I'm not sure it's one of them. Anyway, doesn't matter. This is Hag's finger talk. Don't worry about it. A little anticlimactic, this one, but still great. Map 22 starts off with another neighborly kind of design, where you're supposed to put a gun through a chain link fence and kill poor defenseless chain gunners on the other side. You'd be surprised how unfun this is to do numerous times to restart the map. We need to go in there and grab a plasma rifle and its corresponding ammo, and if we don't, we ain't going to be much longer. I need to shoot a lot of things in this level, I'm sorry. I'll be more clear about what we're doing moving on. Once you've got the ammo, you are ready to go up into the elevator in the corner, and this is something spectacular. Up there is a convention of all the demons you don't like, and maybe a demon or 2 you do like, I suppose. I found the only way to really do this is you have to whip out the BFG for the start here, otherwise you'd be taking some kind of weird hit from somewhere. All around you is ledges, inlets, islands, and it's too chaotic to try anything else. You have to grab the rad suit in the pit, which is step 1. Step 2 is anything you feel like, as long as you don't get fucked by some random enemy. And yes, bing bing bing, enjoy those clips, that's what we're talking about. This one is strange because this is a rather small level, but it's compact with random trash all over. You'll be happily walking along, well, maybe not happily walking, that's something stupid to say. We're legitimately in hell, but we're content, we're alright, we got a shotgun. And our little warm radiation suits, we're jumping over lava pits, but the random demon in Imp Fireball cast is getting fucking gunned out of the universe. I mean, I don't exactly comprehend what to do here. I couldn't have done anything better. Enjoyably, there's almost nothing to worry about picking up, so the sanctity of our challenge survives again, besides all those times it didn't survive. I got more footage of losing attempts for various reasons, enjoy them, but I'll just point out that to leave this level, you need to defeat a very, very kindly placed chain gunner in the final room who could just easily shoot your foot the moment you open the door, and if that happened, I'd be mad. It didn't happen though, so I'm not mad. Next one. Barrels of Fun is hard to describe as actually fun. In fact, it's a separate, more aggressively charged F word that also begins with FU. That's right, this level is exceptionally fug, because it's a narrow map today with large amounts of enemies, large amounts of dangerous barrels, and the requirement of many restarts because despite being called lost souls, they find their way to my ass on too many occasions. We have to use this room with an invincible, blessedly barricading barrel that gives me reprieve against the droves of pain elementals, seeing as they produce a copious amount of lost souls. This is probably public enemy number 1 on map 23, to be honest. A lot of the fights here are handled by the barrels, so it's just up to the player to avoid taking unnecessary risks. Unfortunately, the next fight in this level is a force risk with chain gunners and an archvile standing around the ledge in this courtyard. It's like guaranteed body perforation if I step out there, so the only alternative is to take this running vague leap of faith into a pit of damage and take a teleporter that puts you in an area beyond their direct vision. When you can't beat them, run the fuck away like a coward, yes. Then there's some standard fare stuff like an arachnid leader cerebrum who's truly a problem, and I get around by using my old trick of cowardly running away. You might notice via this footage, but there's a lot of rooms on this map where there's just an annoying amount of health vials, usually greatly restricting our movement possibilities. I mention this for no reason, as I don't accidentally take any, but you gotta remember what the challenge we're doing is. It's not about taking no damage, it seems like it though. After a lot of tunneling and stuff, where by the way those chain gunners we skipped earlier are back and able to see us, we arrive at more fights with Revenants and an Archvile and have to be good Doom players to proceed. Thankfully there's no punchline about being a bad Doom player this time. I actually succeed and take no hits. Which is quite funny actually. At the end they put 2 chain gunners in your posterior along with barrels in your proximity, so it's just a miracle to leave. The chasm reminds me of my chasm. It's huge and it's full of lava. I don't know why I wrote that down. Still, for another well-remembered, usually fairly disliked map, 24 is not that challenging for us. Definitely not in the realm of picking up items. There's hardly any to begin with, let alone be in our way. What does suck is doing Doom tightrope platforming while not getting hit at all, but fortunately the map is also pretty low on the enemy front. Basically, we're not concerned with enemies, we're more worried about the ground, and trying to leave this level involves a copious amount of ground avoidance. The best way to do that is with an invulnerability, but it's pretty cryptic and strange to actually grab. You have to first go to this square and then mash the interact button for no reason until the lift rises up, then you can leap into the lava, which isn't actually lava though, surprise! This is also 6 fucking lost souls can get lost in the upcoming room. After that fiasco, it's time to fiasco to the next area. You got into this teleporter, and it's a blue room now, very nice, good wallpaper, and there's some demons here. Bad choice, would prefer some nice fellows, but what can you do? It's then time for the final tightrope walk around. It's famous, it's dog, I hate it, I don't fail, clap please, I'll start it off. Then it's easy to reach the exit from there, and there we go. That's the level. We're onwards towards another 10 in difficulty. Exciting! This is one of the most aggravating levels in the entire game, and it's mostly because some game designer, probably named John Flormero, decided to make damaging floor everywhere. It starts with a fall into a pit with a precise landing to get onto the edge of a teleporter so that you don't take damage from the floor, but you also don't get warped back upstairs either. It's really Goldilocks gameplay. After that, it's Nukage Rhythm Central with shotgunners in the hallway, the 2-for-1 shit I hate special. I have many examples of how hard this single room is. No, honestly, too many examples. But it became apparent after a while that I don't think you can avoid damage in here without using this running trick referred to as SR50, Strafe Run 50. I don't really know what the 50 is about. Usually just running while holding a strafe button is called SR40. 50 is for losers who beat more Doom maps than me, but for all intents and purposes, I don't think you can skip this damaging floor easily. Fortunately, this floor only deals 5% per tick, which is minimal enough to accept. After enough attempts, I get to look at this pit room, and the solution to fighting in here is to have extreme headless chicken gameplay, meaning just run around in a circle and shoot whatever gun comes to mind. After all the fighting, you go into a narrow hallway with a blue key precariously positioned in the blood again, and yes, this is the gimmick on map 25, the floor fucks you. Mistakes are made numerous times until we're back at this floor again, and I don't take too many ticks of damage and we get to move on to the next room with more floor. I want to spare you from a boring description of what happens to me over and over again on this map, because it's mostly this. I'll show you more rooms and you can appreciate the fact that it's the longest gauntlet of Nukage Rhythm requirements ever. Of course, being map 25 and nearly the end of the game, the fights aren't fun either. Narrow rooms with pain elementals and the like, hit scan with just absolutely everywhere, the arch villain, Archvile, piece of shit, and between all of it being miserable, I'd probably argue this is the hardest map in the entire run. Map 17 had 2 terrible sections, and unlike this map, you are forced to take items, but this just sucks from the get-go. It is terrible. It's like the average Seer video. I'll share this final moment. When you are mere inches from the finish line, you have to take a fight with a bunch of pain elementals, and the footage speaks for itself. That was incredibly lucky. Truly, blood falls from my butt after that one. That's pretty gross. Map 26 is obnoxious. You start in a hole with things just hitting you, and there's probably no better example of a map that gets straight to making you reset. Honestly, I've got like 10 deaths in this pit. Then it's just the long mine shaft tunnels, and the shaft is the fact that the pickups in here are too close together. The lanes are too narrow, so I'll give you the grand total after we're done looking around, but it's gonna be one of those disappointing maps. A challenge with describing this challenge is the fact that I want to make a little baby carriage walkthrough for everything, describing every step I take, every breath I make, every shit I take. I don't want you to watch that. Instead, it's easier to generally describe what the problems we we face R, and here I don't know if there's words to describe it succinctly. There's just a melting pot of problems. You can't walk through half the areas without bumping into the whole menagerie of monster. You can't go down certain paths with ammo and stuff you'd like to because there's a ton of vials and armor shards in the way. Really, it's not even easy to montage the deaths on 26. They come randomly. I don't even see what hits me half the time. All that being said, there's 2 health pickups and 3 armor pickups necessary to complete the level, 4 of those at the very end as some sick joke before the exit. Sadly, the case is you can't skip the ending ones at all, and our totals of shame add up more. Next map is the first reprieve and honestly 2 weeks of playing the game in this very fun fashion. For the record, I never said I wouldn't exploit things if I could. It's just I don't know terribly many good exploits for Doom 2 that involve not taking damage or picking up items, but there is actually an easy way to skip map 27 with the criteria we are using. I do say easy, but look at this absolute landfill of item pickups I have to avoid taking as this clownish fight against a Hell Knight and his band of Lost Souls takes place. This would probably necessitate a BFG shot or 2 if the Lost Souls didn't get stuck on items in front of them, so I basically did have a shield on. And surprisingly, this is about the extent of the hard part of this level. The way to get out of here is to go and aggro the Arch Disgusting. He gets pissed and chases you. The thing is, he's near a door that leads to the end of the level and is locked normally, but it's not locked from both sides, and monsters can open doors from the wrong side if they're fast enough, so he'll just open the door if you're patient enough after making him active. Now, there is an annoyance. You have to drop down and run by him after you hear the door opening, and there's an item pickup down there, and I tagged one once, so there you go, can't even cheat correctly. We also have to hope he doesn't just auto-lock on and smack our ass as we run by, but the second go around he doesn't hit me, and that's map 27 completed. This is kind of a running simulator, and for people who have not completed Hag's Finger, much like, good gamers, I won't mention who, may not know where invulnerabilities reside on map 28. Thing is, even if you do rush to the 2 of them straight away, the map is loaded with a lot of near misses. You need to use the BFG while you're invincible, or you'll never cover the ground you need to cover. And even when you're out of the invincibility, you can't get sloppy, much like I do several times. Check out some of these instant failures the moment I have the ability to failure again. This is especially annoying with the 8 but actually 4-legged ruler thinker who sits in the lava room and just shreds you. Really, I view this map like a blender. You just power game through a bunch of fights, then in the moments where it's more on you to survive, you have to engage in quick combat until you can reach the second invulnerability. Once you get that second stint of not dying ability, it's a short walk to the exit. A surprise, honestly, because this is a large map and less experienced players might assume there's no way to practically daisy chain invulns to win, but it's that easy. 2 levels remaining. I will spoil something here, but this level is the great last hurrah of me being fucking mad. 30, while the final level is far, far easier for our challenge and incredibly shorter than this one. Like, look at this map, my god. The span, the wide berth, it's massive. In this epic, large spanning map, it becomes apparent that you're in for a treat. If that treat is a large penis. Hit scanners litter the outer edges of this literal valley with so many medleys of so many monsters, so positioned to make you so sad. We're gonna restart a lot. Honestly, gotta love the beginning with some mancubuses that are just pissing on you from the nether realm. Look at the dodging employed to avoid this. It's amazing. What's even more impressive is when you consider how some real twisted scumbag put a green armor right on the walkway. And good news, very, very good news, we don't have to take it. Although, let me make it clear, this is the hardest skippable bonus in the entire game to actually skip. You have to jump over the armor as the platform rises up. If you don't jump the gap correctly, you're gonna take it. You can't walk around it. There was a lot of attempts to learn this timing, and it's incredibly precise. Obviously, we restart the level if we fail the gap clear. But this is true. We can pride ourselves on the fact that we never had to take a big armor or a soul or megasphere to complete the game. I guess so far, we'll see. This could be the worst time to start talking about that. Although all this relates comically to a discussion about how to get through this level the most efficient and pain-free way, because we can honestly start considering taking damage, because if we can luck out and get through the level and the next without having to cross over a medipack, we don't have to worry about our health anymore. Yeah, look at this room. Nice, the one time I figured it might be okay to speed run across the nukage pit and get here, there's a million items in the way, so I forgo this strategy and restart because I'm not taking like 200% item pickups right here at the end of the game. Restarting the map, and here's the funny death where I slip on a banana peel and fall into the damaging floor below for no reason. After the climb up this winding Mount Olympus of a map, we are back to another area of power-ups, and this time are forced to take a singular armor and health point, hoping for similar luck moving forward. After all that, the climb of imps, cacodemons, hell knights, chain gunners, and then hopping across a ledge near a soul sphere, terrifying. We were ready to go towards the teleporter into the nukage, and bad luck. Just excellent, good, love it. Frustration Station, welcome to Fuck You Nation. Go again. The climb, the bad battling, the jump, the correct landing on the teleporter, and then it's the next trial, the 2 health vials placed close but far enough together that you can actually move in between them. Here he goes, and shit on, missed it, fuck. Go again. The climb, the battling, the jump, the correct landing on the teleporter, and then it's the next trial, the 2 health vials placed close but far enough away that you can actually move in between them. Here he goes, nailed it, first try. Now it's a reverent cacodemon hitting me for 7%. I'm not restarting for that. We can keep trying to look around. Following this is a bridge with unavoidable pickups. What are you doing, John? It's the last real level. Why test my patience now? 3% HP and another armor pickup. I am further defiled. Then I return back this way. The game comically plunges my ass into the lava and I go ouch and feel very foolish because I'm still not restarting. That's how badass I am. I can play Doom maps with 86% HP. There's a few supplementary rooms like the Archvile Village, and by that I mean one of them, and then you get to go to something truly comical. Like, I don't get this, but you take a teleporter and it's the fucking Half-Life ending. There's a million enemies facing the teleporter and they all shoot you immediately. Our dreams of good health have that's evaporated for non-English speakers. To not belabor a laborious point, but I just start dying here. Like, look at this montage and look at the times I missed a gap for the 2 health vials again and again and again and again. Some more, fuck me. This was just a pain in the ass, and eventually I stopped getting screwed by this or that, and guess what? We enter the final level with 5% HP. That's not enough to be satisfied, believe me. The very last stage in the game is very simple to avoid item pickups. That is very appreciated. 5% health is not appreciated. This map is designed to start you with 200% health and armor, and as the first player in the world to skip that megasphere, I feel vindicated knowing I'm a weird, strange, weird creature. But you have not done this challenge, so who's laughing now? Probably both the Johns that are giving me the John in my John. Oh, speaking of John Romero, he's in the boss's brain back there, and we have to kill him to win the game. To win the game, you must kill me, John Head. Anywho, get your rocket launcher out and activate the platform. Don't get unlucky in any fashion by being shot and shoot 3 rockets into the exposed brain to win. The icon of sin spawns random monsters by shooting out little cubes, so basically you have to either be very fast to win or very diligent with clearing out the room as things spawn. Anything less than going ham will be insufficient. I personally can't go beef here today. I'm doing badly. This is very hard with our low health, so hard in fact I just go back and complete 29 better than I did last time. No, really, I kind of crazy, right? I did it twice. Didn't even do Hag's finger twice, to be honest. The second time I go through 29 completely, I just make far fewer mistakes and get to enter 30 with 106% HP and 15% armor. It's actually crazy. I almost did it perfectly. And with that, it's a breeze. The ending can roll and we can finally total up all the failures we have experienced. So finally, after weeks of looking at map editors, nerd, playing the game, nerd, writing the script to deliver great breakfast, lunch, or maybe dinner time content to you, absolute stallion, I am finished answering the very unnecessary question of, can you beat Doom 2 without ever collecting health or armor? And the answer is no, fuck. It's cool to know there's only 7 levels where you have to collect items with a total of 22 HP and 19 armor. We never had to pick up a large armor, a medipack, or any sphere-related item, and the worst individual level for pickups was map 17, but the hardest level might have been map 29, with only the concession that we didn't have to care nearly as much about taking damage. And guess what though? Didn't take shit damage for that second clear of level 29. I'll get my genitals out for you to admire. Look at them. Anyhow, that was fun. I had a good time. I can't talk to you live to discuss whether or not you enjoyed this too, but thanks for being here with me in any event. You're still here. If you hated it, well, it's your fucking mistake. Hope you'll be back for my next challenge. Can you beat Doom 3 without falling asleep? I'm just kidding. I love the game. Just a joke. I'm a Doom 3 fucking fan. And if you hate the Soul Cube, if you hate Betruger, then we're done here. You're out of my next video. You can't watch it. Thanks for coming. See you soon, unless you hate Betruger, asshole.